Hey friends, welcome to Cherry Picking 101. And what I'm going to share with you is my strategy to use a metal detector to prospect washes and just cherry pick the gold. Find the easy stuff that's there that'll help me make a decision on whether I want to come back and dig it out or do more work there. And by cherry picking, I'm going for the obvious areas, whether they're textbook perfect or not textbook perfect. I'm not doing a whole lot of extra work. So if my coil can't hear the target, I'm just going to let it go. And so no matter what coil size it is. And let's look at some of the tools that I like to use for my everyday prospecting and for cherry picking. So what we have here is a blow tube. And you've seen me use the blow tube before. It works great if it's dry. If the conditions are wet, it's not very great. This is a little brush here, just nylon bristles. Don't use metal bristles if you're detecting, because metal bristles will cause you a lot of headaches with a metal detector. My old toothbrush here. This is kind of moving in to be a replacement for that one. And here I have a bent screwdriver. I think this is actually an electrician's tool. I don't really know. And a spoon. I just grabbed this one out of the silverware drawer a few weeks ago. Don't tell my wife.
Like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
And then a regular screwdriver here. And I have it in a piece of PVC because I have a tool pouch. And if I were to fall, I keep it upside down like this. So if I were to fall, it would not impale me. So it's upside down. And should I go this way on it, yeah, I've got at least a little bit of protection there. So try not to knock everything down. And of course, the best thing, my poke. Oh, there everything goes. That's okay. I can pick it all up. And so there's a little water in there. So sometimes I put a little water in there. That way when I'm hiking around, my nuggets are just kind of self-clinging. Oh yeah. We gotta love that sound. Let's go and I'll show you and I'll help teach you how to cherry pick a wash with a metal detector to find awesome gold nuggets. And here we go with Cherry Picking 101. Let's take a look at these book pages. Look at all the material trapped up in here. Right down in here. In this channel right here. Look at this. It's everywhere. You can't turn around in this wash and not see opportunity. It's absolutely everywhere. And cherry picking, that's the obvious stuff, right? That's completely obvious. Right down in here. Great place to cherry pick. Anywhere in bedrock like this, these book pages, it's really crevicey and cracky. Gold can be anywhere. I'd even detect up on this high bench right here. Same on this side. Nice little standing water here. And water standing like this, in this particular level, this at the bottom of the bedrock, great indicator of a drop zone. It's a great indicator of a level drop zone. Don't overlook that. Everything up on top of the bench, definitely right up in there. All down through all these cracks and crevices. Now here it gets a little interesting. So if you have a detector, that has a big coil and it's capable of going through here, you know, and detecting nuggets, you know, at a foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, whatever it is, depending on the size, definitely detect this and dig them. But if you've got a small coil, if you only have a small coil, if you're using a gold monster, a gold bug, a GMT, whatever, 24K, whatever it is, if the bedrock is a foot deep, 2 feet deep, and the little piece of gold is, you know, small, 1/2 of gold, you're not going to find it. So think about this in strategy of your coil size, what kind of detector you have, and put it to use. If you got a coil that's, you know, a VLF, it doesn't go very deep, avoid the deep areas. If you have a coil and a machine that can go much, much deeper, or PI or MPS or ZVT or whatever, it doesn't matter. Go for it. Dig every target. But really, this video is focused on no matter what kind of detector you have, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. It's all about the capability of the machine and not plastering and digging all this deep stuff out. So if you have a machine that's just definitely not capable of going deep, leave this stuff. Don't dig it. You're just looking for the cherry picking. And right up in here, this is about, you know, up to my belly button maybe. And I would detect all this. I would absolutely detect it. I mean, look at the cracks. The alluvium that was in this wash at one time, as you look up here, it had to wash down. There's no reason why gold can't be trapped up in here. Absolutely no reason. And again, we have really great cracks and crevicey bedrock. Detect it all. Don't leave anything for me because I will take it. All kidding aside, here's some more bedrock. Some bedrock over here. And even down below the cactus, there's some bedrock. You always want to be careful. Never, ever, ever harm a cactus. But there's some bedrock there. And we'll turn the corner here. And suddenly it gets deep. So if you've got a machine that's capable of great depth, go for it. Run it, dig all the targets. If you don't, if your machine isn't capable of finding little gold at great depth, just skip this area. It's fine. Generally, if there's good gold in an area, it can be concentrated in one little section of the wash like this. But most of the time, when you go through and you cherry pick, you're going to find little pieces here and there. Another thing I want to show you, we take a look at this pegmatite here and this schist coming down right here. They're both very, very angular. You can see they're not doing a slope. They're just boom, broken off. And it's evident by these big pieces here in the wash. There's some bedrock there, and there's some bedrock there. That's telling me that maybe between this point and that point, maybe it's not as deep as between that big slope off point and up there by that big rock. Between 2 points of bedrock, sometimes you can draw a line and you're right, and you say, hey, that's even going to be shallow there. Bedrock is very serpentine, so it could be, 5 inches of shallow, then drop down 4 feet. It's very tricky. This isn't even bedrock here. It's just looks like a big piece of nice, whatever you want to call it, that fell in. We keep going along in here again. There's a little bit of shallow bedrock down here. There's a lot of opportunity on this bench. Do not overlook these benches. Do not overlook them. And again, down here, there's a little bit of bedrock. Up in here, over here, it's changing color a little bit. And again, all this stuff, it's yummy. Cherry pick all this. Get up here and detect it. Absolutely. Here we go into a deeper area. So if you have a machine that's not going to punch a foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet on a sizable nugget, some machines are capable of getting, very, very small nuggets, sub-gram, at a foot. Most VLFs, like the Gold Monster and the Gold Bug 2 and the GMT, the 24K, just aren't capable of that. The Mine Labs are. The Mine Lab, not VLF, but the PIs, the MPS, and the ZVT. And I've used just about every one of these machines. So I haven't used a 24K, I have used a GMT, but I've used Gold Bugs, GPZ 7000, GP Extreme, SDC, SD 2100, you name it, I've used them. And that's how I put my mind into it from experience, is saying my detector type, my coil size is going to determine how I cherry pick. I'm not going to take a VLF and run through 2 feet of overburden hoping for a nugget that's hanging up. It may be there. It very well may be there. But most likely, it's probably not going to be there. I definitely concentrate more on these shallow cracks and crevices, even if they're up high. I mean, I'm over 6 foot, and this stuff here is at my, shoulder level, but I would detect it. You just never know over time where these nuggets are going to be trapped. Don't walk away from opportunity. More standing water and digging targets underwater. If it's murky, if it's muddy, it's a pain in the butt. Oftentimes I'll just leave it and come back when it's dry. But if it's kind of clear, I might go for it. Again, up in here, all of this. And here's a great example of a channel that runs with a wash. And a lot of people say, those don't have any gold, don't dig them. Absolutely dig them. These channels can be very, very deep. And oftentimes you can just find multiple nuggets lined up in here. They get down to the bottom, and this channel is this wide here at the bottom. It's a little pincher, and those nuggets get trapped. The heat comes, the cold comes, they expand and contract. Those nuggets keep falling down further and further and further. So don't overlook cracks and crevices that run with a channel, that run with a flow. Let's keep going up here. We'll get up here, take a look up this beautiful wash. And this is an inside bend. And a lot of people may look over here. There's a lot of blow sand looking stuff and say, I'm not going to dig that. I'm not going to do it. Well, I would, because I found a lot of gold doing it. Because the simple fact, hi Maya. See, Maya knows there's good gold here. Huh, girl? Huh, girl, you're so good. For the simple fact that the wash may have originally ran here and deposited a lot of gold. don't overlook. This is a gift. This is a gift. Doesn't matter what side of the wash it's on. Just take this opportunity. Cherry pick it. That's what you're doing. You're cherry picking. Don't worry about what the textbook says. Textbook isn't always right. And up in here, again, it's great stuff. What's interesting is you're starting to see the cracks and crevices with a change of the bedrock, change direction. This one is right across the flow. So are all these. So just a great opportunity here. Don't overlook them. Doesn't matter if they go this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. It doesn't really matter. Get them all. And let's keep going up here. What you see, Maya? So it's starting to get deeper up here. And there's some good bedrock right here. Right along the side in here. This looks very, very deep here. I don't see any bedrock sticking out. I can see the flow pattern forming an island in the middle. That is probably pretty deep. But some good stuff right up along here. All up along here, it's good. So I hope this quick strategy, this thing I shared with you, cherry picking, the art of cherry picking, is going to help you find gold. I can tell you, I have found a lot of gold doing this. One of my favorite ways of doing it is to come in with a VLF, a gold bug or a monster or something, and just cherry pick everything. Cherry pick, see what I get. If I get some gold, come back in with a bigger machine, run it over. If I get some larger nuggets at depth, then I come back and dig it out. There's a lot of decisions and factors that, you know, weigh into whether or not you want to invest the time to go and dig a spot out. But these are just things to think about. Experiment. I mean, you will find your success in experimentation. None of us started off at the top of any ladder. So keep that in mind. And don't be afraid when you're out to break the textbook rules. And just use your sense, follow your instincts, and learn. Just go along and learn. But for cherry picking, get the obvious stuff within range of your detector and your coil. So I'm going to keep finding gold because I know I love being out gold bumming. I know for a fact that there's more gold left in my day, and I'm going to go get it. Let's go. Right in here where my finger is. Look at that. That is some heavy material. Really coarse, heavy black sands. It's all trapped up here in the overburden. And there is quite a bit of it. This is a clay layer right here. This is a clay layer. This is not bedrock. And this down here is bedrock. Yesterday I found some nice nuggets, and I'll put them on the screen here. And they were actually up in a layer like this. It was a completely different area. The gold you'll find in here is going to be more worn, more rounded. The gold on the screen is much more coarse. But the point I want to make is gold has to work its way down. And the earth is constantly shaking, vibrating. Floods come through, water moves. In the desert environments, it's completely different than an area where water constantly flows. And that's why sometimes your gold may be in all three of these layers, or sometimes it may be here working its way down. It may only be on the clay layer, or it may only be on the bedrock. And it's important as you dig, when you observe something like this, and I'm looking at it, is I'm going slow. I'm slowing down. I'm checking each layer to figure out where the gold is. I'm going to let the gold tell me the story. I'm not going to make an assumption that the gold is only on the bedrock, only on the clay layer, or only up in here. It could be interlaced, but most likely it's going to be here, here, or here, and these two would be my best bet. But we'll see. There may be some smaller pieces in here. That's a nice sounding target, and this one is actually on the bedrock. It's not in the clay. It's not in the overburden. The monster indicates it's, you know, definitely a high probability of gold. So let's get the old blow tube and see what it is. Double check here. Fairly confident that I know where it's at. There it is. There it is, right down that little crack. I'm talking to the blow tube. Probably don't want to hear me talk to the blow tube. But there it is, right down that little crack. Nice little nugget. I keep knocking it down. There we go. Yeah, that's a nice little shiny nugget. Look at that. Beautiful. First one of the day. Got to keep going. Well, hey friends, back at it this week. 2 weeks ago, we got a lot more gold than we're getting this week, but that's okay. We're really just exploring for new areas, gold bumming. Find an area where we can devote some serious time to this, you know, winter and spring season. So that's what we're kind of doing. And the gold's been good. And I'll show a picture up here. I don't know, it'll be over here or over there, I don't know, but it'll magically appear. But it's such a beautiful day. Maya's sitting back there. Isn't she just beautiful? Look at her. She's just chilling. She's such a good girl. Yeah, we're just kind of having fun and getting gold, cleaning the desert up with trash. You know, prospectors are unappreciated that way. You know, we clean up trash and pick up iron bits and lead. And, you know, I think somebody somewhere should say thank you for all the junk that detectorists and prospectors remove from the land, because we really do a good job at it. Let me tell you, we really do a good job. We like getting the heavy metal out, whether that's gold or lead, and cleaning it up and making sure nature is the way it should be. So the other thing I want to say is a buddy of mine from out of state contacted me, and he's thinking about coming out to Arizona, and I'm excited for that because I haven't seen him in a while, and it'd be great to hang out and dig some gold together. And him and this other guy are thinking about buying a claim. And this guy's really smart. He'll definitely make a good decision. But I would be super skeptical of buying claims. Skeptical. Did I say spectacle? Spectacle. And skeptical. Skeptical. I have to learn what's, whatever the hell they're called. What are they called? I don't even know. I don't even care. I'm just so relaxed that it doesn't matter. Skeptical. You know, how do you sound the word out? Skeptical. I'd be really skeptical of, you know, buying a claim when, you know, gold prices are high. And I've said this before, and there are a lot of legitimate claims out there, and believe me, I'm not knocking anybody selling a claim, but, you know, again, a couple things to look for. Look at the file date. Was it recently filed? You know, don't get yourself into a spot where you drop 20 grand on a claim that's junk and you only ever get $1,800 worth of gold out of it, and you end up spending, you know, 5 grand to get that 1,800. And if you're thinking about buying a claim, I would say that's an investment. It's an investment, but you have to run it like a business. So if you pay 10 grand, 20 grand, whatever it is, I'm just using round numbers. Think about, okay, that's my initial investment. And then every time you go out there, whatever equipment you use, all that stuff, it has to pay for, not only it has to recoup your original investment, but all your gas, all your diesel, all your equipment, everything else, and your time. I mean, your time's worth a lot. I'm sure a lot of you, if you were self-employed, you'd want to make a decent wage. So you'd want to be making whatever it is you think is right. So think about all this stuff, dial it in. If you got more money than time, throw all your money around. It doesn't really matter. But most people don't, and most people get excited about the prospect of finding riches and digging a lot of gold. But the reality is few do. And so be careful. I'm going to get back to digging gold. Let's go find some. Looks good. Look at this hillside here. Look at all the cactus. Nice little cactus concentration, little cactus family. Isn't that beautiful?